and welcome to Table Topics. Today we are discussing the very sensitive issue of teen suicide. Teen suicide is now the third leading cause of death for young adults in North America. There was a case of an 11-year-old boy last year committing suicide because he was being bullied at school.
Kids are mean. I remember being a child. I've been mean. I've had people be mean to me. And you really do need to go home and feel safe and get away from that and feel like you can carry on. The other thing is that your world is very small the younger you are. So your world is your family, and then the extension of your world and what you know and what you think is right and wrong goes to your school or your church or whatever other organizations you're involved with as a child. But mainly it becomes the family and the school. So the school really does have a responsibility to teach children acceptance, about the world, that the world is large, that people are different. Being pushed is not like this 11-year-old child having everyone call him gay. He doesn't even understand probably what that means, but he surely doesn't like it. Tells his family, tells the school, no one really makes it stop, and so his view of the world becomes a very hopeless one at 11, and he commits suicide in his closet.
Now, two different things. I mean, bullying has been around for years, but nowadays you can hide behind text messages, you can hide behind the internet, and you can bully at a whole nother level.
Oh,
because
yeah.
some kids who didn't have the guts to bully face to face, so there's this whole nother level of bullying.
Yeah, the online mom.
The online. Now, the other thing I think that's happened with online is that kids who, when you're 10 or 11, I mean, I didn't even know what suicide was, let alone actually going through with this act.
Why is this even happening? Like, how are schools going to take this seriously to teach kids to not want to bully, and if they do, to shut it down? Like, am I going to be a crazy mom that if my children come home and say to me, this person pushed me, I'm going to say, you pushed Lily?
But I'm
going to shove you in a garbage can. I don't know, like...
A lot of kids are afraid to tell any authority, though, because often the threat is, if you tell an authority, I'm going to kill you. So they keep their mouth shut, and they don't really have an outlet.
At 11 years old, if a kid says, I want to kill myself, that's a very serious statement for an 11, because 11-year-olds usually, that I know, are quite rambunctious, they're curious about the world, they're energetic, they're not, saying they want to kill themselves. So it's definitely an alarm bell. I would react to that.
And when you're an adult, I mean, even then, your full realization of what suicide means and even what it would be like to keep living given your circumstances can get cloudy. The more depressed, the more hopeless it feels. As a child, do you even understand how long life is and how, elementary school and high school, you'll leave it behind.
And schools are a dangerous place these days. I mean, the ratio of a teacher to student is still maybe 30-1. She can't, or he cannot, govern every single thing that's happening in the hallways. And they do have, actually, I think, hidden or people, plainclothes guards now in school.
Okay.
They actually are paid staff now that are paid to just look after the safety of the kids, which is so sad that they even need to have
incidents
that.
like Columbine massacre, that changes things,
but
right?
What has changed in our society that we now need these plainclothes people to walk in our hallways?
Ultimately, it's communication and education that empowers people. And I think what I'm hearing out of all of this, I just suddenly had this revelation. Well, it's not really a huge one, but I think the key is that in school, it shouldn't be just about math and arithmetics and English. It should be about relational issues.
Yes.
We're not taught how to relate to each other or to communicate or value each other, and we're not taught media literacy. These are two elements of being a functional human being in modern day society that are so pivotal to being healthy or living totally unhealthy.
There are moments throughout elementary school and high school where you're the subject of everyone hates you all of a sudden for a week. But then there were kids, I remember, that were like, everyone has them, no matter how moral a person you are now. Smelly Christine, a random name, or somebody that, we don't want to touch her, we don't want to go near her because she's socially somewhat different. There were girls who used to do beautiful Indian dances at our school, and it was not in vogue then. People made fun of them. And now Jai Ho's the #1 song in the universe. You don't know anything. It's a bit of a Lord of the Flies situation where as you compete, and now that channels into sports or jobs or whatever else we do as adults, as children, sometimes that manifests itself in tearing other people down so that you feel like you belong and that you are on top. So, and I mean, we're on the internet. We get all kinds of criticism, and we're resilient. But for kids who are so small, and I feel bad for them.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the scary thing is it does translate from being a youth into your adulthood. And for some people, it actually doesn't stop, and it keeps occurring in your job, in corporations and whatnot. So
Yeah.
if you have any challenges, or you know someone who is suffering from depression, please visit the website below. Once again, we always like to hear from you, and thank you for watching Table Topics.